Metro Police and the SWAT team brought out those 5 suspects.
Another few days on the water could have spelled disaster.
They have found multiple knives inside of this home. Police have a saying that 20% of people are committing 80% of the crimes. You know, here in Savannah, Metro Police Chief Willie Levitt tells me that repeat offenders are a huge problem.
Tonight, we need your help generating leads in a nearly 6-year-old missing persons case.
Where we have Candace Glover live from Los Angeles.
I'm sure a lot of volunteer hours have been put into this already, so the question now is, are they ready?
It hits home to know this girl and know her family.
Welcome back, sir, and I think I saw a picture of you kissing a chipmunk.
Jennifer and Casey, it almost was. It all ended here at Bull and Pearl Streets right behind me as Metro Police and the SWAT team brought out those 5 suspects. After that search led them here. Take a look at that moment. Our cameras were rolling as that moment happened, as the SWAT team members brought out people one by one out of that apartment building. Now, one man, the one in the white and camo shorts sitting on the ground in the video, was identified as the suspect. Police were able to do so by bringing the victim, the man kidnapped from the Family Dollar on Duran, and the witness to the scene. Now, how this all unfolded, it was a little after 1 o'clock this afternoon that the suspect kidnapped the employee from the Family Dollar, forcing him into his car. They took off driving and ended there on Montgomery and 52nd Street. That's when the victim actually jumped out of his car and ran to a man for help. Here's what that man had to say.
He jumped out of his head. He wasn't going to die by himself. That's the only thing he said to me.
Of course, folks in this area were on edge all throughout the afternoon. Of course, police releasing little information at this time as their investigation continues. Of course, we'll bring you up to speed as the information is released to us. And throughout the day, our Tabi Sabanda from WJCL was on scene, and she also spoke with many people in this area who were on edge, and businesses as well. Tabi, thank you. Again, it was a quick wrap-up, Metro Police say, and they were glad it ended in a safe manner because they didn't want anybody to be hurt in this situation. They did tell people in this area to stay in their homes as they were searching for those suspects that they did bring out at this apartment complex here at Bull and Pearl.
The 3rd drowning victim's body is found on Hunting Island. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Hausman. The body washed ashore on Hunting Island has been identified as the swimmer who disappeared on Sunday. A beachgoer found the remains of 17-year-old Mike Foma of Pennsylvania around noon. Now, his body washed ashore about 3.5 miles from where he disappeared. He'd been swimming with his uncle and cousin when they were all overcome by strong currents. The bodies of his uncle and cousin were already recovered. Now, 2 boaters were recovered and rescued today after being stranded for about 14 days without power. The Coast Guard got a call this morning about a pleasure boat floating 60 miles southeast of Tybee Island. A search and rescue helicopter picked up the 2 men and took them to the hospital for observation. Their main complaint was dehydration. Now, that pair, of course, lucky to be spotted. Another few days on the water could have spelled disaster. But there are ways to protect yourself. Our Renee LaSalle spoke to the Coast Guard pilot who made that rescue. Joining me now live in the studio with more. Renee. A grand jury indicts the man accused of killing Isle of Hope firefighter Wesley Franklin. 26-year-old Brandon Mackey is now charged with felony murder, malice murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery. Mackey is charged in the shooting death of 21-year-old Wesley Franklin. He was shot and killed during an armed robbery. That happened outside of Deb's Pub and Grub in June of 2012. 2 young girls remain in critical condition tonight after their house caught fire Sunday. Investigators say their dryer sparked that blaze. 3 children were inside the house when the fire broke out. Only one of the little girls was able to get out in time. Firefighters rescued the other 2 girls, who are ages 6 and 13. They were rushed to the hospital. A passerby witnessed the entire situation, and he says what felt like days took only a few minutes to get those little girls out. Statesboro police are searching for an armed robbery suspect tonight. A Jimmy John's employee was held up while making a sandwich delivery to the Cambridge at Southern Apartments. That happened around 2:30 this morning. The suspect showed a weapon and then demanded money. Police described that suspect as a black male. He was wearing a black hoodie, black pants, and black Nike shoes. Of course, anyone with information is urged to call the Statesboro Police Department. Jeff joining me now, and you know, we saw some spotty rain today, but other than that, of course, it was warm and humid and hot and typical July.
You're right, all that stuff. You know, some areas did have some rain and storms, kind of along the...
Soon, larger ships will be able to access the Harbortown Marina on Hilton Head Island. Our Low Country Bureau Chief Larry Sproul joining me now live in the studio. And Larry, they're talking about deepening that marina, which will definitely mean more jobs and tourism for that area.
You're right, Lindsay.
Well, in other news, the massive Truman Parkway project is heading into the home stretch. Contractors are back on track to finish the final phase by March. Our Rob Macko got an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the progress. Of course, crews have been working on this project 6 days a week. Again, the final section of the Truman Parkway is scheduled to be completed in March of 2014. Well, for the second time in 2 weeks, thousands of gallons of sewage have spilled on Tybee Island. Now, Tybee Island officials are taking action. Our Cassidy Lance has more tonight. The city says they have money in their budget for the project, which will close Jones Avenue through tomorrow. They believe the age of the lines, as well as the excessive rainfall and usage of the lines in the busy summer months, likely contributed to that spill. We also have another Tybee Island advisory to tell you about. The Coastal Health District says the Polk Street Beach, it's under advisory. Tests show a high level of bacteria in the water, which can increase the risk of making swimmers sick. The beach is still open, but they do recommend that you don't swim or wade in the water. Plus, any seafood that is caught from the area should be thoroughly washed and cooked. The next testing date will be July the 18th. Frank joining me now for a first look at sports. Welcome back, sir. And I think I saw a picture of you kissing a chipmunk.
Tonight, we need your help generating leads in a nearly 6-year-old missing persons case. Take a look at 31-year-old Ben McCullers. He went missing in McIntosh County in June of 2007. But he didn't just go missing. Investigators say it's as if he vanished. So in an effort to bring a cold case back to life, WTGS is introducing you to the story of Ben McCullers. His family says 31-year-old Ben McCullers had no reason to disappear. He was the oldest of 4 children, bright, intelligent. He had his whole life ahead of him. That ended June 2nd, 2007. McCullers reported running out of gas that night to his girlfriend, and then nothing more.
It was along this stretch of Highway 99 in McIntosh County that deputies say they found his truck June the 3rd right here along the roadside. They said it was, in fact, out of gas, as he had reported the night before he went missing. They also say back in the woods, about 150 yards, they found his keys and other belongings.
That's in the woods where some of the evidence was found.
Investigators found keys and a pack of cigarettes. They say it had rained heavily the night before. However, as you can see in these scene photos, the cigarettes, they're still dry. A mystery that still remains today. Foul play immediately not ruled out. NCIS, GBI, FBI, along with the McIntosh County Sheriff's Office, they all got involved. In local news articles on record, it shows multiple ground searches done, volunteers from all over assisted. All efforts getting nowhere.
It was very frustrating. I mean, we normally can solve a crime pretty quick, but this one, we can't. And we'll find something, we'll get a lead, and we'll start doing it, and it seems like this is going to be it. And then it turns out to be nothing, and it's very disappointing. And then we just keep probing, see what we can come up with, and then something will come up, and we'll check into that, and it turns out to be nothing. So it's very, very aggravating.
For the family, it's agony.
It's not a missing person. This is a homicide that's turned into a cold case.
Dale McCullers, Ben's dad, believes his son is dead. Something terrible happened that night that he ran out of gas.
Just been a haunting feeling, you know, to wake up in the middle of the night and to revisit that terrible day when Ben went missing, and there was nothing we could do about it other than rely on law enforcement. And you know, since it's been such a cold case, it's been hard to revisit it year after year after year.
Year after year, for 6 years, Ben McCullers' case has remained unexplained.
A mystery. It's just beyond me how somebody can just vanish and not be seen or heard from again. And it's been almost 6 years.